from Times Now News, Epstein jerky, what it means and how it fueled cannibalism and ritualistic sacrifice claims. The U.S. Department of Justice released more than 3 million documents recently in which a 2019 interview between FBI officials and an anonymous man speaks about ritualistic sacrifice aboard Epstein's yacht in 2000. They say when the DOJ released more than 3 million records, blah, 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 the trove quickly became fodder. We get it. The one about ritualistic sacrifice. The most graphic allegations appear in summaries of a reported 2019 interview. In one version of the interview, an agent concluded the claims did not warrant further investigative resources. The DOJ files also note that the man did not allege cannibalism during the interview, though he claimed the individuals consumed human feces. The FBI declined to comment when asked why the allegations were not pursued. Despite that, the words cannibal and cannibalism appear dozens of times elsewhere in the document collection. A search of the Epstein library shows 52 mentions of cannibal and 6 of cannibalism, according to Snopes. None of those references, however, connect Epstein's to cannibalistic acts. Some appear in unrelated context, media summaries, academic syllabus. We don't need to include those. But there was a conversation about eating jerky, and Alex believes that is a reference to people.
I know it is.
Why?
Because they cannot say this. That's why they use coded language. Obviously, they can't just be in the email.
What did they say?
That 13-year-old girl tasted so good. Yum. They're not going to say that. But the way that they talked about jerky in these emails, there's an email where it's like, oh, yeah, he's going to stop eating so much jerky and start eating regular food again. You just got to go through the emails. I mean, you can take my word. So
do you think Ellen DeGeneres is a cannibal?
Probably, yes. Actually, pull up Ellen DeGeneres.
Do you think they found a code word for human meat? Wait, here. What?
Hope you are feeling better. Did we analyze the jerky? Why didn't we get jerky this week? I also added more to the jerky and ginger lemongrass. Thank you so much. Super cool. Beef jerky, delicious. Jojo is here and we'll walk the jerky over to Jeffrey. We'll walk the jerky over to Jeffrey.
Why would jerky walk around? Why would it do that?
Delicious lunch, beef jerky. Steve and I are very grateful above all for your friendship. Some of these emails are so wholesome, aren't they? It's too bad they eat kids. A small insulated bag would be fine. I don't remember checking it. No need for crazy amounts of ice. One should do. There is one bag of beef jerky in the fridge. Please get it. Also, Blank has more at her place. Please get it from her as well. I suppose it needs to be in a cold, insulated bag. Just wanted to touch base about jerky. J.E. said he was going to start eating regular food again, so he might be eating less jerky. He said he has 6 bags of it in the downstairs freezer. Why would you freeze jerky? Steve needs a 6 to 8 ounce portion of jerky. I gave you all the jerky we had, and it lasted only half the amount of time it was meant to. I felt like it was more important for you to have the jerky to...
It sounds like they're eating people, bro.
Yes! Yes! Listen to the last one. He's like, oh, I thought it'd be more important for you to have the jerky than me. If it's just normal jerky, you go to CVS. You can buy unlimited Jack Link's beef jerky. So why is it more important for that person to have it unless it's some sort of rare commodity?
And not only that, here's the email. They redacted the to and from.
Why did they redact it?
J.E. said he was going to start eating regular food again, so he might be eating less jerky.
Why is it illegal to send an email about jerky, Tim? Answer that question. Is it a crime to say, if I send you an email about jerky, would they redact that? No. But it's because the FBI knows they're talking about children, and so they're not going to be like, oh, well,
hold on.
Meat tastes
this
so
is your
good.
Smoking gun. It's pathetic. This is like a pathetic.
I don't need a smoking gun because there's people like Jimmy Savile, and that I know that they do. It's called SRA, Satanic Ritualistic Abuse.
Wait, hold on. Here's another one. We have no idea where it came from. It was sent to Epstein. Francis has time to come tomorrow to show me how to make it. Jerky class, anyone? He will also bring you a taste of his new jerky recipe from the restaurant and sends a warm hello. He's working at a restaurant called Cannibal and Cooks. Wait for it. Beef, jerky, and steak. He has time at 3 p.m. tomorrow if it's okay with you.
Tim, these sounds like they could be your emails about beef jerky.
No, they do not.
I don't
They do not sound like his emails, dude.
Look,
That's
there's enough there to make people be like, what's going on here? To be honest with you. Like,
sure, it's an odd email exchange, but I don't know if this is indicative of child sacrifice. Maybe I'm the moron.
Well, okay, think about how prevalent abortion is. We know that Planned Parenthood has been caught. There's been people from Planned Parenthood caught with baby parts. So there is, whether you want to believe it or not, there is a black market for dead baby parts, babies, dead bodies, and China. I'm not saying they're into it, but they also supposedly, get hostages and they'll take a liver. Like you can buy a heart in China. You can't do that here in America.
There was an FBI interview of one of the purported victims, They were saying things like, while on his yacht, he witnessed African American males having sex with white blonde females, all of whom were bleeding during the intercourse. He was a victim of a type of ritualistic sacrifice in which his feet were cut with a scimitar but left no scarring. On the yacht, he witnessed babies being dismembered, their intestines removed, and individuals eating the feces from these intestines. He was also raped by George Bush I. These are just allegations from
Real quick, if they admit that they would eat human feces, you don't think they would eat human meat?
These
if
are
they would eat human poop?
Wait.
This is alleged from an interview.
Well, they said
so
human-
Our redacted name says, Rachel, the people on the island are telling me Jeffrey didn't like the last batch of jerky that Steve sent to him. Not sure if it's too late to stop the shipment.
Why would you need to stop the shipment if it's beef jerky that you can get at the grocery store?
Because it's special jerky.
yeah.
Tim knows you could get special jerky. I've had Tim's special jerky.
No, you have not, dude. Shut up, Elaad. You've not had any jerky
I think the
with Tim
issue-
Pool.
Wait, hold on. I think we
Gosh,
have kangaroo jerky in there.
And then Tim
Yeah, from
complains, no,
Elijah
this jerky
Schaefer,
sucks.
believe it or
Stop
not,
that
yeah.
shipment. Stop that shipment. We don't want more of that shitty jerky.
No, hold on. The exotic jerky that I have is from Western Maryland. When I went to there's like this lake, and there's a jerky store that sold a whole bunch of different kinds of jerky. Not one of which was human children, in fact, but they did have a good variety.
Okay, just because they're eating children doesn't mean that jerky doesn't also exist.
Hold on.
I mean,
No, what if they're not eating children, though? It sounds like they're eating something untoward. It may be people. I don't know. But the issue that I take is, I think it's fair to say this is weird. They're doing something. But when you jump the gun and say they're eating children, it makes people think you're nuts.
what if I told you that everybody in this room has eaten human beings before? You're going to say that's impossible, but in meat processing plants, they've went and tested the meat, and there has been issues where there's human DNA in it, like
Because
somebody
like,
cut their hand or something and got in the meat. So
well, yeah, or because like a guy named Juan who's supposed to clean the vat trips and falls.
yeah, exactly, sweated. That's what I'm saying. So in a way, we've all eaten human.
In a way, if you think long and hard.
You ever hear the story about the guy? There was like a tuna vat, and he went inside to clean it
Cooked
out.
himself? Yeah.
No, and the other guy pressed the button and closed it and cooked him alive, and he was in there like,
Oh, intentionally, it was just murder.
No, it
was
was
an accident.
accidental.
Oh, it was an
but
accident.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
got cooked. Yeah.
cooked alive.
The big
Yeah, so again, like, what if they're like? It is weird when they say they're going to walk the jerky because you can't. You know what I mean?
I think they meant they walk the bag of jerky.
Dude, what does it mean that he's going to start eating?
Right. I'm gonna walk the jerky over like I'm
yes,
carrying
I think
it.
that
Like,
is
Tim, I'll
true.
bring you. I'll walk the jerky over to you.
But-
Yeah.
but
We just got an
explain this
order
one.
for you.
Yeah, I'll walk
it
it
over to Tim.
Yeah.
And then Tim doesn't want more of the shipment of jerky because he didn't like the jerky.
Yeah, because
No,
they put celery salt or like fennel on it. Get it out of here with that. Caraway
And
seeds.
what about the weird email where it says, "Oh, he's going to start eating regular food," as if in the email is like, "Oh, he's going to start eating less jerky and more regular."
Well, I will give some pushback because I had a period where I literally ate nothing but chicken wings for like 6 months.
that was when you were doing keto. That's a little different.
No, I mean, I was literally like I could have eaten a lot of other things, but I just really wanted to eat chicken wings. They're delicious.
Well, like
The big.
I mean,
Go ahead, Phil.
well, it's just that like I just want to reiterate it. Like at this point, there's enough information here where they need to start finding these people that are making the allegations, interviewing them, and looking to see if they can press charges.
Wait, hold on. Here's an important one for Elaad. Beef jerky is drying. Another hour or so till it's finished. What is the best way to get it to you? One of the children that we cut up to make the jerky.
Maybe he was having that South African, the biltong, where you need to like leave it out to cure and dry.
I'm just imagining like how funny it would be if like on Epstein's island there's like a gigantic jerking station and they've got a whole bunch of exotic like legitimate beef jerkies, and then it's just like Alex is screaming, "It's children!" and the people from Epstein Island are like, "You have no idea the recipes."
Okay, what about this?
Yeah, I could
He
make that
He orders
movie.
200 gallons of sulfuric acid. You don't think that's?
Oh, bro, that was for dissolving people.
what do you think that's for?
One of the FBI files talked about there were 2 dead women buried on this ranch because apparently what happened was, and this is, come on, look, when you go to people and you say jerky sounds like they're eating people, they're like, man, I don't know, that sounds crazy. But what do we know for a fact? Epstein was convicted for hiring underage girls as masseuses, but having them do sexual things. One of the tips was that there were 2 women that were hired for sexual favors, and when they were doing them, Epstein and whoever else was strangling them at the same time, and they died. They panicked and then buried the women on some ranch property. That is entirely believable based on what we do know about Epstein. Don't get me wrong. You can believe the stuff about the jerky and all these other crazy things, but I'm saying, like, if you go to someone and say, Epstein was convicted for hiring underage prostitutes, and in one of the files, they allege 2 of them died during rough sex, and then Epstein and his accomplices buried the bodies. So when you hear about them buying, 200 gallons of sulfuric acid, and what did they bring to the island?
I think he ordered it to the island, if I remember correctly.
And you have to wonder why someone needs a private island in the first place. And it's because ain't nobody coming to investigate on your private island. And here's the other thing, the important thing to understand. When you bring a young woman to your island, she's not going to say no because of the implication.
Well, and then, they say, and I don't want to make...
That was a reference. Anybody who got it, if you don't get the reference, then,
No, I didn't, but...
well, everyone in the chat's going to understand the reference.
Well, what I'm saying is...
The implication.
I don't get it.
The implication...
No.
You bring a woman onto the middle of the ocean,
yes,
and you ask something of her, and she has to say yes because of the implication.
Because she's out in the middle of nowhere?
The implication is that you're going to kill her.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, you probably would. And I'm just saying this, now they're saying you got to look into Richard Branson because he has an island, Necker Island, and Nekker. I don't want to get canceled for that. And I'm not saying he's eating kids out there, but it's called Virgin Island, and then a bunch of celebrities go out there.
Virgin Island?
Virgin, he owns Virgin, whatever.
So what are you saying? They're not eating a bunch of kids out there, you're not saying that, but what are you saying
they're
about
eating
the
kids,
island?
I'm not saying that they're not eating kids.
Hold on. I want to give a shout out. I want to give like a half shout out, half marks to Virgin Airlines or whatever. Was it Virgin Atlantic or something? Because I flew on them one time, and how they do the safety briefing? In the safety briefing for Atlantic, they literally went, if you don't know how to put on your seatbelt, something is wrong with you. Moving on. And I started laughing, and I was like, that's great. And then I guess they changed it later because the insurance company or something was like, legit, you have to tell them to do this. Because there were probably people like who didn't know how to put on a seatbelt. But shout out to Atlantic for assuming general intelligence and common sense, I guess.
Overstating it, I guess.
Overstating it indeed.
I think as far as a lot of the Epstein stuff goes, it's hard to blame people for wanting to add on all these additional maybe conspiracies onto the Epstein stuff because originally so many people overpromised and underdelivered on this story. So many people in positions of power did this. So for example, before Kash Patel was the director of the FBI, he used to come on shows like this and bitch about the Epstein stuff and say how there were all of these lists out there. And then Jeffrey Epstein inside the jail is able to kill himself, and then they've removed parts of the file watching over him.
Aside from the killing himself part, well,
we don't even know that he killed himself.
No, but hold on. Aside from that, that was a misstep by the FBI. But doesn't the release of the files kind of vindicate all the other stuff they were saying that all this nefarious things?
Well, no, because there's a few other things. Pam Bondi bringing in a bunch of influencers to making them look like a bunch of idiots, like they were getting new stuff. But no, because they overpromised on so much. So because they said, oh, there's this gigantic pedophile ring, and then there's a list of people, and it wasn't only Jeffrey Epstein who was procuring underage women with Ghislaine Maxwell. They were using this and filming, famous and influential people to use this as blackmail. Not a lot of that stuff came to fruition, but because so much was overpromised and underdelivered, it's hard to blame people for thinking there's more there.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.